Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Thanks for joining me on this Sunday evening. We do have a chance of some snow. Mainly our northern counties getting impacted by snowfall amounts, but icy roads have been a problem across the region, and this system moving through will not help. Wind, blowing snow, and icy road conditions will continue another round on Thursday. Your forecast is coming up right now. But first, my friends at Robert Gibb and Sons want to salute first responders with up to $400 off the installation of a new system. Thanks for your service. Robert Gibb & Sons can give you the details. Give them a call today. All right, let's get started right away. We have a lot of weather going on across the nation. Here's our weather wiggle that's been bringing rain and freezing rain to our area. Part of this same system has slid off and is impacting the New England states right now with heavy rain, snow, and look at the ice reports going on out there. Gusty winds blowing through the central Rockies. Meanwhile, here in the northern plains, we have snow, and there is definitely a system making landfall in the Pacific Northwest with yet another chance for some flaky weather making its way through. As is always the case, thank you. Frankie is asking about the Thursday system. We will cover it in this update right now. There's a couple of rounds to go over, and we're going to go over that right away. So let's go ahead and talk about the headlines here, the things that you need to know with regards to what's coming our way here in the northern plains. Number one, Monday, we're going to have snow that continues tonight into the morning hours. It will accumulate for some of our northern counties along the international border into northern Minnesota. There'll be a light to moderate snowfall, but gusty winds to 40 miles per hour means BS, blowing snow and just roads that are crazy. Midweek chilliness heading our way, and then Thursday snow. This is a clipper style system, and Hutch always says more blow than snow with an Alberta clipper, and this will happen again, but the track this one takes on two different models looking pretty suspicious. We'll go over all of it. Let's take a look around the nation. Let's take a look right here. If you have questions, let me know. I'd love to get to those here in just a minute. But for now, we're going to hustle along and get right out to the radar. First and foremost, let's check out what's going on the East Coast out here. We have New York, Philadelphia getting heavy rain. If you've watched football today, you know. Look what's going on out to the west out here. So we get up towards Elmira, we get towards Binghamton, we get out to the shores, and we're seeing some significant snowfall potential out there where we see the darker blue bands near Binghamton and near Elmira, that heavy band of snow. But look at Syracuse, some public reporting freezing rain on cars out there in Syracuse, and Rochester, Buffalo, that area not getting much right now. The lake effect snow of the past week and a half, though, a much deserved break for those folks. So very wet weather working its way back through Roanoke, Virginia, and that's a look at the Northeast. As this system is exiting, it will continue to impact the New England states as we go through the night tonight. Now, shifting into the northern plains, check this out. We still have rain in December near Duluth, and this has caused icy roads across the entire state of Minnesota. Numerous crashes this weekend from Minneapolis through northern Minnesota and out into North Dakota. Now, the brunt of the snow near Rainy Lake, International Falls, Lake of the Woods, but there's this wraparound band that will be working its way along the international border overnight. After that north wind takes hold, we're going to have snow and blowing snow making its way across the valley. Speaking of blowing, look at the 70-mile-per-hour gusts through the saddle here near Rock Springs. As you go between, say, Cheyenne and Laramie here, we do have that neat little saddle in the Rocky Mountains there that just allows that wind to just hustle through. This is often seen in areas like Broomfield as well as we look into the Metro Denver area. Let's see where these are coming in. We're talking about near the Boulder area, near Nederland, a gust of 66 miles per hour reported there. And how about 76 mile per hour 3 miles southeast of Tolland? So gusty winds out there from Rawlins, Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming into the Denver area. And here's the west coast seeing the next system. This one's rainy right now for Portland, but we do have a mixed bag of tricks in Northern California, Redding to Medford and on towards Altamont there, seeing some heavy snow showers. Stephanie, thanks for logging in. Thanks to everybody for watching. And thanks to all of you, by the way, for allowing Hutch to hit 57,000 followers. If you have not done so yet on Facebook, I really could use your help. The more followers I get, the more people Facebook delivers this content to. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you watching on YouTube as well. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like what you're seeing here. Now let's talk a little bit about our forecast. We have some snow moving through the northern plains. We have some snow and ice exiting the East Coast. To take a look at all of it, we're going to go to the European model as we go into the week ahead. Here's what we need to know. Here's our weather wiggle working its way along the northern plains. Here's the former weather wiggle that was the ice storm in Iowa, now impacting the east coast. There's the next system on the left coast. As we take a look now at the forecast for the week ahead, this is what you need to know. Number one, we're going to see the system on the east coast as we go through the overnight hours head towards places like, well, we're talking about Massachusetts, but the western side seeing snow, and out to the east and south, we're going to see some rain out towards Maryland, out towards D.C. and Jersey, seeing some heavy showers. More showers pushing into western Kentucky as well. Look what's going on in the northern plains, though. As this low pressure system closes off, we're going to see those north winds increasing across the Dakotas. Now, after a weekend of freezing rain, we're going to have buffeting winds of 40 miles per hour hit this puppy, and that's going to cause a slip-slidey mess across parts of North Dakota. As far as snowfall amounts, we'll go over that locally here in just a moment, but I'm not expecting great amounts of snow. We could see a few areas with 3 or more inches of snow, mainly near the international border. That system, pardon me for skipping ahead, will continue to drift eastward out towards Ontario and heading out towards Quebec as we head into the weekend. Look at this. It's going to bring another round of wet and nonsense weather to the New England states as we head into, look at the day on this, Tuesday. Now, here's the next Colorado low that's going to try to develop as we go through, a result of this system working out of the Rockies. What this means is for your Monday, if you're in places like Idaho, western Montana, the Cascades, we're talking about the Snoqualmie Pass area into northern California as well. We're going to expect some snow showers for those areas to push their way through. Then a little bit of break for most of the nation as we go through a cold midweek. This is a cold high pressure system drifting out of Canada. And then the next British Columbia system works its way in from the Pacific Northwest. That's going to track across the northern tier states and bring a clipper moving right through the kitchen in places like North Dakota and Minnesota. And when a Alberta clipper blasts through your kitchen, you're going to feel more blow than snow with these type of systems on the early side. But there could be some bands of impactful snow. This begins on Thursday morning. It lasts into Thursday evening with gusty winds lasting into Friday morning for Minnesota. Look what happens when this bad boy walks its way into the Great Lakes. We're going to once again get some northerly winds off those lakes. It does look like it falls apart until it meets up with some warmer waters in the Gulf Stream out there in the mid-Atlantic states. Closing out the week with some cool weather in the Central Plains, but quiet weather from coast to coast. And this gets us all the way out to the 21st on this particular model. I'm going to sneak a look at the American model just over the next 24 to 48 hours just to see. Here's our weather wiggle wobbling through the northern plains. It becomes mainly one that skirts along the southern Canada border with the U.S., bringing a light dash of snow and wind to the Dakotas and northern Minnesota. The system now in the mid-Atlantic states will continue to drift off, and then here comes our next weather maker. Now, as you watch, there's the cold air working its way in on Wednesday, mighty cold air, and then boom, here comes that clipper rocking out of Calgary, Alberta, right through the kitchen of parts of North Dakota and Minnesota. So from the Twin Cities to Fargo to Bismarck, North Dakota, and on into northern Iowa, another little taste of winter working its way through and into the Great Lakes midweek. Both models have these. Both models have them timed out pretty good. Let me see if I have any questions on my other channels here. I'm going to check in and wave hello to everybody watching on the YouTube channel. Thanks for checking in. I hope that answers your questions. Again, you're always welcome to drop Hutch a note here on hutchesweather.com. Now, speaking of that, roads are terrible across many areas of the country, and we also have some interesting deals going on with the systems that have worked their way through. Now, we talked last time about some power outages. Let me show you what's going on with power outages. There's been some improvement in Iowa from the ice storm there, but we still have areas of California that were hit with 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts that have parts without power. So we're talking about 15,000 people or so in California. So those situations have improved. Now let's check out the roads. This is North Dakota, where we've had icy weather throughout the weekend. Where you see the purple lines here, these roads are covered with compacted snow from the weather system making its way through. Little asterisks that you see here and there are signs that we have crashes going on right now, and the yellow areas completely covered with ice and or compacted snow. This is a travel alert up in in the northwestern corner of North Dakota for tonight. Down near Fargo and this I-94 corridor showing up as blue. What that means is we have some wet roads with temperatures hovering near freezing. They're going to be icy in spots, so keep that in mind. A quick look at this snowmaking system, by the way, that's working its way through on the radar right now. Let's see if the roads are taking on any snow at all real quickly. Then we'll look at some more details across our area. This is a look in the northern part of North Dakota. Look at the wind and the snow covering the road completely. You cannot see that road there. This is Highway 5 there in northernmost North Dakota. The Devil's Lake area, if you've ever fished there, well, it's going to be ice fishing weather coming up soon. Ice is never truly safe. Make sure you're checking it for depth out there because we've had some rain over the last 24 to 36 hours in the region. That road's looking rough and tumble as well. Grand Forks reporting icy roads through the Grand Cities right now. Grand Forks, East Grand Forks getting some new snow, not covering the road surface just yet. And how about Minot? You say if we look out toward the air base, those roads are taking on some sloppy snow up there in the northern reaches of North Dakota. That's what's going on there. Checking out greater Minnesota to see what's going on in the western part of the state is where we have the impacts, where we see pink roads, a little different color table here. That's completely covered in snowy or icy roads. We also have areas of concern across northwestern Minnesota where you see the blue, partially covered roads. Now, Duluth, terrible fog has been slipping through that area over the last 24 to 36 hours, and it's causing some icy conditions out there as well. I've been informed roads up in the Warren Way are icy. Thanks, Bruce, for your report. Traveling to Omaha Monday the 23rd. Keep it nice, please. I hear your request. We'll put in the request with those in charge of the weather department here because it isn't me. I'm in charge of informing. So keep up the great work of checking Hutch's weather. I've had a number of people visiting hutchesweather.com for an update, and you can go there right now for pictures of the weather in the upper Midwest here and what I'm expecting as we go through. Laura, good to have you on board. Rita, good to see you as well. Missed how much snow or wind we'll get on Thursday. Let's go over that. You haven't missed a thing. Earlier, it was raining in Hawley. I drove through the rain from northwest Minnesota back to Fargo, and yeah, there were some big old drops of rain tonight coming out of the sky. It was kind of a cool rain, as one would expect. Okay, you bet. It looks like I'm getting a lot of questions about what we can expect. Let's talk about this system on Monday. But first, a quick look at these roads in Minnesota so that if you're traveling tonight, I want you to slow way down. Do not drive too close to the car in front of you. Give yourself plenty of room to stop out there. And this is a look at Thief River Falls taking on some icy conditions there. The Red Lakes area showing a lot of pink roads completely covered. The asterisk showing a crash near Black Duck. So this area in Beltrami County is getting snow that's not showing up greatly on the radar here, but there is some activity there coming down, reducing visibility and causing icy roads and even some crashes. Look at the Highway 10 corridor. 34 out towards Park Rapids taking on some icy conditions. A couple of crashes showing up in that area. This is wet on the camera here, which means in spots, those roads where the surface is cold enough, solid ice out there in places, folks. So keep that in mind. I-94, let's look in Fargo. Here's a look at the Fargo area. The streets are glossy, but they're mainly wet here in town. There's going to be some ice on intersections near side streets, bridges, overpasses. Now, as we go down towards Alexandria, here you're going to get about that area on I-94, and it looks like the roads there are wet more than they are white, but you want to take it slow because temperatures are hovering very close to that freezing mark. A number of crashes reported now in and around the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, whether you're traveling Highway 10 on the north side westbound crash on 10 out there, not far from that area in the Becker area, Bailey, and this looks like it's out towards the area not far from Monticello there. So those areas picking up some significant impacts from that. Now, the fog was ridiculous out here in the Duluth area earlier. It looks like it is a little bit improved visibility-wise in that particular area, so that's good to know there. So a look at Minnesota roads showing that we definitely have some challenges. No snow in Bemidji. It's drizzling, though. Buck, thank you for your report as well. Things have been a little rough and tumble across the northern plains. As long as you're used to driving in this and if you're comfortable with it, go ahead. Just give yourself some extra distance. It's mighty slippery out there. Now let's look at this forecast for the northern plains, shall we? As we zoom in, here's two focus points that we're going to have. Monday, wind, snow, and then turning cold. Thursday, we'll look at the Alberta Clipper, and let's do it for our area. So let's zoom in to the Northern Plains. And if you do have questions, drop me a note or let me know right here. Now, as we take a look, this particular model and many models are not showing super significant risk of heavy bands of snow for any areas. Some in our southern counties could get missed out completely, but we're going to have an area of snow that will be most likely along the Highway 2 corridor and points north. We will see light winds now increasing. So as you look out here into central North Dakota, the isobars are getting mighty friendly. And when that happens, that's a change in pressure. And pressure pushes the air. And that air that's in a hurry is what Hutch calls wind. And it'll be windy out of the north. So here goes this little bugger working its way across the international border, spinning with the south winds on the east side. Here come the north winds light as we go into your Monday morning. Here's 6 a.m. Snow along Highway 2. So Minot could pick up more snow. Grand Forks and points north could pick up more snow. What about up in the Detroit Lakes area and 34? There are icy roads in that area, Desiree. Thank you for your question. I just showed that. There are some slippery roads and there are some crashes in that area near 34 out towards Park Rapids. Some areas are reported icy. Most of the snowfall that's coming our way is not going to pile up in places like Park Rapids, Detroit Lakes, Fargo, Jamestown, Valley City, or Point South. But what we will get is this continued murky air that's going to wring out some more of this freezing drizzle and mist and mizzle all night long that will become colder as the north winds pull in tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning will be the warmest part of the day into about noon. By that time, the cold air on these northwest winds reach Fargo. That'll be our best chance of some snow. Early morning to mid-morning periods of light snow in Fargo. It will not be the snowfall that will be too impactful here. Heading into Minnesota as we go into the midday hours, this is noon, that's where the system will park and continue to exit. So by the end of the day, the snow will be gone, but the blowing snow, that BS, that'll be out there, and falling temperatures for the drive home will change things up. That is a look at that particular system. Now I'm going to go out just a little bit further and we'll sneak out. Oh, here we go. So this is a look at the Thursday system beginning on Thursday morning right here. We've got this little clipper coming in. It looks like it's going to impact more of our central and southern counties on this particular model. There is some disagreement on the exact track, but most models do have a snow shot coming with wind, and it's coming on Thursday as we go through the main part of the day. So those that get lucky enough to get this slap in the face from our good friends in Calgary, I got to tell you, it's coming with a chance for some snow. How much, you say? Let's talk shop. Talk point number one. When Hutch is showing you snowfall for 3 or 4 days out, these are just guidance numbers from models. This is not Hutch's actual forecast or anybody's, but what I can tell you is I like to look at these, look for consensus, and say, you know what? I'm feeling in my gut there's a better chance for some of us getting more than 2 inches or 4 inches or some number based on what the models are showing. So let me show you what we got coming Monday and Thursday, just for giggles and for laughs, and not for laughs because it's not necessarily all that fun. Let's take a look and a sneak peek at this system coming across the border. Here is a look as the time flies as we get into Tuesday morning. Actually, this is Monday night. So we're going to see a chance for a 1/2 inch to 1 inch for most areas you see in blue. A good chance of a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of accumulation. There'll be a few spots near the international border where we get more. Hutch was saying 3 to 3 plus through the weekend, and it does look like Lake of the Woods County could see that, Roseau County could see that, possibly portions of Marshall County, Minnesota to Kitson and Roseau County. So those northern border counties will have the greatest chance at seeing some snow that will impact roads. Now, the blowing snow will continue to blow and loft around with gusts to 35 to 40 miles per hour, even in other locations. A little bit of snow along the I-94 corridor is possible, but it's mainly going to be the icy travel and wind that'll be our concern. Anywhere, though, in the northern half of Minnesota, say north of Highway 10, will have a reasonable chance at some accumulating snowfall. What's that? Huh? Oh, you want to know about the Thursday system? What's that puppy look like? For that, we're going to look at 2 models because I'm not putting all my eggs in basket number A. Sometimes I like to put my eggs in basket letter 2. So let's take a look at that. Here we go. This is a look at some, now these are 24-hour snow totals, so we'll go ahead and look out towards, well, this is only going out towards, I got to go out a little farther. So I'm going to get this other model here that does go out a little farther. My apologies. Got to make sure we can take a look at Okay, so this model has the accumulating snow in South Dakota as we go through Wednesday and into Thursday. Okay, here comes the Thursday system. Now let's take a look at the European model. I do use a little bit more weight on this European model than I do on the American model. However, the American model has shown some promise and some improvements with this last system. For instance, it's one that showed that it was going to be more of a northerly impact than this weekend, and that's what we've seen. Now, as you do take a look at Thursday, ending on Thursday night, the snowfall amounts with this are nothing to sneeze at. We are popping some 8-inch bands of snow here through parts of the Dakotas on the European model, parts of central Minnesota. I wouldn't get this. It's very rare we see this huge of an area hit with this much snow. Normally we see a more narrow band of this. So let's get that out right away. But what it does say is there is a reasonable chance that many areas will see a couple inches of snow. Many areas have a great chance at a couple of inches of snow Thursday. Some areas could see a band of heavier accumulation, and that's what I'd like to leave it at. But we will look at that American model and take a look at its track for the Thursday system, looking at 24-hour snowfall totals. This is by the same time. Look at that. Does that look similar to you? Show me an answer. South Dakota, Brenda says. If this system on Thursday impacts South Dakota, it's mainly going to be in northeast South Dakota. You see here, there. There you go, Joni. Thank you very much. You're welcome for the update. So this is Thursday. This is showing very similar amounts. Huge areas of impact are shown on these global models because they use a bigger scale when they're taking their input data, and they're just not run on a fine scale like we see on some of the 24 to 48 hour models. So essentially, we'll be able to fine tune where is this heavy band going to be. It will be a narrow band, but some in the narrow band do have a chance at, let's just say, over 4 inches of accumulating snow at this point. So is that something that we can digest? Yep. Now let's take a look at what we're looking at with regards to our, well, let's see, we've covered roads. Let's talk about our forecast digits, and then we'll wrap this puppy up unless you have any further questions. So get your questions out. Bring those to the table now if you have some. Thank you. Will it be windy with the snow on Thursday? That's a very good question. And my answer is this Alberta Clipper will bring wind and gusty winds, particularly just after the snow is making its way through. These things tend to bring quite a bit of wind. It's looking like there's a chance for some 30-mile-per-hour winds concurrent with the snow or at the same time. So yeah, we will have to be worried about that just a little bit. I'm not telling you to cancel your plans and to, shut up shop and go home for the day. That's not the point. The point is that we could have areas that see impacts as we go through our Thursday. Will it be a light snow? It'll be a temperature. It'll be a fluffy snow, if that's what you mean. It'll be one of them dry powder type snows. Temperatures will be in the teens to low 20s. So we get a different type of snowflake from air masses that are that temperature versus the air masses that are 30 degrees like we have today. Wonderful questions. What do you think Grand Forks will see? If you just believe what I just showed you, Grand Forks is going to be pretty close to the band of heavier snow. It could fall between Grand Forks and Fargo. It could fall north of Grand Forks. We'll just have to see where that ramp, I like to call it a ramp, where the greatest snow machine temperatures are. That's huge. And where the track of the low is, that's also very huge, with creating enough energy to create lift. And that lift makes snowflakes that fall back down on us a little later. So that's what I'll be watching for as we go through. Okay, here's the digits. Here's what you need to know. Let's start with a look at the system for tomorrow. And you can get all of these on hutchesweather.com. So why not use hutchesweather.com in this broadcast? Well, there is no excuse for not using hutchesweather.com. It gives us all a chance to go through some of the neat tools that have been added to Hutch's site. First and foremost, right at the top, you'll see that I'm doing a live right now. So you can click and watch it right on your phone, right on your mobile device, anywhere. Now, if you go ahead and check out my highlight here, that highlight tells us that, oh, Hutch has some extra information on here for us. So let's check out what extra information Hutch has. Oh, Snow Monday. and an Alberta Clipper Thursday. Yep, it's all right here on the website right now. It shows the week ahead graphics, what you can expect with icy roads. It has a snapshot of Monday morning with snow in the Northern Valley, wind, and it's going to be increasing throughout the day. Temperatures will be falling in the afternoon. As a matter of fact, the snowfall amounts for tomorrow look very similar to this graphic I made, and this one is by Monday in the evening. Now, there could be some pockets with 3 or 3+ inches of snow, but as you see on this, the greatest chance of that will be right along the international border in those places we saw. Otherwise, most of us will get that what? Did you hear what I said? 1/2 inch to 1 inch of snow is going to be the most common amount. Some pockets are going to see more than that, but it will come with some gusty winds. Now, here's a snapshot of Thursday. Alberta Clipper coming on Thursday, it says here, and whoop, there it is. Here's your isobars. They're close together, so it's getting windy, and it's just getting started at 6 a.m. Pockets or bands of snow on the warmer side of the system, but by warmer, I mean temperatures at the ground here will be in the 20s for many of us in southeast North Dakota. Notice that there could be some ice in South Dakota, so if you're asking about that, that is a possibility there. So keep that in mind. What do you think, Grand Forks? Well, I think we've answered the questions. So this is a look at hutchesweather.com. And oh, look, here's even the 7-day forecast showing temperatures tomorrow on your Monday will be 30 degrees midday, early afternoon, and then falling like a brick right on your big toe as we go into your Tuesday morning. Down into the teens for all day Tuesday and even cooler on Wednesday. I've even got some ice showing up there as we continue to see slippery travel conditions. Thursday, there's our Clipper. Temperatures will be, well, we will call them mild, but not very mild, as we'll see temperatures around 20 degrees and falling in the afternoon. A few inches is what I put on the 7-day, and we'll refine that as we get a little bit closer. Temperatures staying on the cold side in the mornings, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you're getting all of this great detail on hutchesweather.com. When you see those extra special buttons like you're seeing right here at the top, that means Hutch has efforted some content to put on the website for you. So keep that in mind, and another thing to keep in mind is all my fine sponsors that you see at the top of the page. And if you have a local business that wants to get in the game on Hutch's Weather, it's a great place to be. Not like my friend Dave Eggers at State Farm in Moorhead, Minnesota. If you need a quote on car insurance, give David Eggers a chance. Give him a call. You know what? I can give you a personal word and thanking Dave for years of coverage for good old Hutch here. Done a great job. Thanks, Dave. And give him a call. Let him check out what he can do for you. If you have a young driver, he's got discounts that he can look up for you. Okay, now as we take a look at what else is on Hutch's Weather, I want to point this out. Right at the top of the page, do you see it says road conditions? I want you clicking on this button before you go. And it's not just North Dakota. I have had, and my friend Joe have efforted to put all these states and provinces right on Hutch's Weather for you to get the very latest on road conditions. The road conditions also allow you to turn on cameras on many of these sites and actually take a look at what the camera's showing you of what those roads look like. All available on hutchesweather.com. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I think that does take care of us. So thank you all so very, very much. Thanks for watching. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Have a wonderful night. I will be back with an update in the morning, but for now, check out hutchesweather.com. Don't forget to hit the follow button on Facebook, as so many of you have. Now, over 57,000 people. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Let's keep that going and growing. Subscribe on YouTube, and for now, stay warm, drive slow, and arrive safe. We'll talk again very soon. Good night, everybody.